All
Hey, as
right.
much as I want to talk about dogs, and I could talk about dogs all day, maybe we should talk about tech time. Um, so shall we get started? Hello to those of you who are here, and hello to those of you who are watching on video. My name is Jay Rosema, and as a member of the TLC team, I'm here to help you advance your teaching skills. And helping me today is Quincy Conley. Quincy, would you like to say hello?
Hey, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for making the time.
Great. I want you, all the people here, to be aware that we are recording the first part of TLC Tech Time, and that includes information about Canvas and Five and our Tech Time demonstration, our tour. And today's tour is going to expand from last month's Tech Time, where we were showing you gradebook elements. We're going to expand on that this time. We will stop the recording before we move on to conversations so that anybody here live can be safe asking questions and participating in our conversation. I also want to let you all know that if you are participating in the Level Up certificate program, and that does include Aaron's cat, today's attendance can help you earn credit for Level 2 technology. Each 30-minute episode is worth half a credit, and you can earn it by attending live or by watching the recording and self-reporting through our Qualtrics form. If you are watching the video now, you'll find the link to the Qualtrics form in the notes below. In case you have not seen our Canvas in 5 videos, it's a feature that we started in January. In these videos, we attempt in 5 minutes or less to help you quickly learn a tip, a trick, or a feature about Canvas. We recommend watching Canvas in 5 before joining us at the TLC Tech Time. Why? Because we will be expanding on the topic from Canvas in 5. However, you are not required to watch Canvas in 5 first. You are more than welcome to watch them at any time you have a few extra 5 minutes. In the May Canvas in 5, we took a deeper dive into the gradebook settings. We explored how to personalize your gradebook settings and manage grade posting policies and provide some high quality feedback using comments and rubrics. If you haven't had the opportunity to check out Canvas in 5 yet, or you can't quite remember how to access the monthly episodes, you can find them in the TLC Learning channel, which I just put a link to in the chat. Um, our TLC Learning channel is a repository for all of our recorded content, so I encourage you to check out Canvas in 5, earlier tech times, and all of our other videos. So for now, let's take a deeper look into Canvas Gradebook. Quincy, I'm handing it over to you.
Thanks so much, Jay. Appreciate the setup there. And again, thank you all for being here. Please, at any time, this is meant to be interactive. Feel free to come off mute, use the chat, and communicate your questions, comments, or reactions to what I'm going to show you today. Expanding on, as Jay eloquently has mentioned, we're going to expand on the grade book. There are three things that I'm going to show you that I hope will either expand your current knowledge or help you with being efficient when it comes to managing your students' performances in your courses. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen here with you, and I'm going to take you on a tour related to Canvas. So this is just a generic course that the TLC uses for demonstration purposes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take us to the gradebook where I'm going to show you how to give custom yet pre-filled feedback when it comes to grading. Um, Oftentimes we're teaching the same class over and over again. Oftentimes we're grading an assignment multiple times where we kind of know that there's probably three or four things that are going to happen across the board with our students. So instead of typing it out every single time, maybe there's a more efficient way. And let me show you how to do that with an assignment here. So here's in a grade book. I'm going to take a look at the test student here. And for an assignment related to instructional strategies, I'm going to open the SpeedGrader over here. And I'm going to show you how after, imagine, if you will, an assignment where they had to deliver an idea related to instructional strategies related to health science educators, education for educators. And in this case, Dr. Morgan is explaining that they want to use flipped classroom and they're going to justify and come up with a short outline description of what that might look like for that class. So on the left-hand side is the actual assignment. It's a PDF that they've uploaded, which I've asked for, one pager. And then on the right-hand side, this is probably, you might imagine, my first or my 50th time evaluating these things. And because this concept's new, there are a couple areas that I expect folks to maybe have some trouble spots. So I might have I might have some feedback that I might want to have preloaded for them. So, I come here, I evaluate it. Here's where I might enter the point score. But I notice some things going through it and I go, gosh, great work. Something to that effect. Oops, let me cancel that. And I might start typing here, but I want to save you some time and trouble. Does anybody use the preloaded feedback for assignments? Show of hands. Anybody use that? Oh, okay. I'm excited to show this to you then. All right. So before I do that and go through here and provide detailed or even just reactionary type feedback on this assignment, I want you to notice over here, there's this little comment button with the number four next to it. This is actually a hyperlink. And so for today's demonstration, I've actually preloaded it with some feedback that I might expect to have to deliver for my students. And so there's, good, better, best, great job, nailed it. And then there's great job, needs a few things improved, or gosh, there needs to be some more work. And here's where I think it could be. These are customizable. I could come here and type these, easy, great work. I could come here and do that, and then I could add it to the library, and it will show up. It will show up here for you, and then you can reuse that as many times as you might need to use it. But in this case, this assignment, because they chose Merrill, first principles of instructions, and they absolutely did a fantastic job. I want to let them know and why I did that. I click on that, boom, no hands. Feedback was already pre-populated. So then what happens is all I have to do is click submit, and that feedback will show up for that student's assignment. Uh, Even though it's preloaded, yes, I can even keep up the good work. I can customize this as well. Um, and then they also see that as well. Every time I click save, submit, that shows up as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply the score, perfect score, and then click submit. And I'll tell you a quick story. I used to have a spreadsheet for doing this type of assignments, and I would keep it, I would copy paste it over and customize it to try to save time. And I would
That
say at
was
the
me
time,
yesterday, all
was
day.
it? Yeah,
Yes.
Canvas can do this for you. Canvas can do this for you. You can even customize the customized feedback for your course, and you can even have these things on the sideline where you could bring it in once you know the course you're teaching it the next semester, and then boom, it comes right over. It might save you a few seconds, right? Because it's right here and it's editable. Whereas if you're using a spreadsheet, you might have to hunt and peck. And then here's another cool thing too, is that great work. It will auto populate. So say for instance, there's like five things. You don't have to click here to try to find it. You could just start typing excellent, and it should start to fill in for you. I have that turned on. See, there it is. And you can
This
turn
is
that feature.
amazing.
Yeah,
And
you can turn that.
it does add up, by the way, a few seconds for like 96 plus students. It adds up
Mhm.
a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of compassion for folks that teach large classes with large batches of feedback. You can turn this off or on, and you can customize it. Maybe there's something new that showed up in your grading. 90 students, I can imagine, see the same thing twice all the time. There's something unique. You can add it on the fly, and you can even turn this on or off, and it will update for you. But yeah, it's super, super, super time saving. here and giving feedback. And it really does come across as custom to them, and it really is custom. You're just saving yourself a little bit more time. Questions, comments about this before I move on to the next feature?
Yeah, I've got a question.
Mhm.
Is this something that you actually set up in SpeedGrader, or can you initially set it up outside of SpeedGrader?
Ooh, good question. Um, my understanding is that you can. Did somebody have a question?
I
My
I
under.
g- I have
Okay.
two questions.
Yeah. Oh, was it related to answering Jay's question? As I.
Yeah, it's
Okay, go ahead.
somewhat related. So my first question is related to what Jay just asked.
Okay.
So the first time you have to enter the comments, right? And you have to save this in your library. So there's nothing really available and you have to create it, right?
That is my understanding. Correct.
Yeah, and my second question was when you teach the same course again, do all these comments when you copy this into your next class, next time you teach the same course, do these comments get copied as well?
Yes. So my understanding is that you can that these comments do travel with you, and that it's up to how the course is copied over. It's how the copy. So there's a couple situations. It's out of the scope of today, and I want to be on time today. But there are, if you wanted to make sure, there's a couple suggestions that we can walk you through in a detailed way. One is using what we call a course sandbox or a course master, that everything lives in that. And then you copy from there over every new iteration, as opposed to a more linear where you're copying last semester's course to the next semester, to the next semester, to the next semester. Because you might make updates, you might modify your comments, these type of things, but then that way you have a working confident that you're a version of your course that you're confident in, and then you can actually tell it what components of the course to copy over. So to me, that's a reliable way to make sure that what you're looking for, as opposed to just a blanket, yeah, copy everything. If you change things, it could lose things, but you always get it back. I think there's always a way to get it back if you have that sandbox, which is what you're looking at right here. This is what we do in the TLC. But does that kind of answer your question, Jay and Malti?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And we can walk you through how to do that specifically.
I think that might be another Canvas in 5 in and of
Uh-oh.
itself.
Yeah, yeah. Good idea. Okay. Good stuff. All right. So I'll keep moving forward here. The next thing I want to show you is grading schemes. So not all assignments are graded the same. Not all courses deserve to be graded the same. And I'm going to show you in the case where perhaps you want to give feedback to students in different ways. Um, Actually, I'm going to show you really quick now that I've assigned that. Most of our courses, oh gosh, uh, most of our courses most of our courses are on this letter grade out of a percentage to let a student know where they stand in the course at a given moment in time. That's pretty standard. And then we have usually our department level or our school level grading scheme. So 90% or better is an A, or maybe it's 94 and above is an A, and those type of things. Fantastic. But I want to show you that there might be an instance where you might want to think about a different way to convey how a student is doing in your course. It could be a lab course, it could be an elective course, it could be maybe a non-traditional way of trying to help train your students for your program. When that happens, I'm going to take you down to the settings feature, and the default is the letter grade with the points calculated from a percentage. But there are different ways to do this, and it's enable course grading scheme in the settings. Has anybody used this before? Oh, we have lots of people in this. All right, I'm talking to the pro group. Well, here's the what I have turned on, where A means a certain percentage for them. And let's take a look at this really quick. So what this does for you, if you're not familiar with grading schemes, is this just lets your students know in a qualitative way where they quantitatively stand in your course. We know, I'm not going to use the word grade grubbing, but we know our students appreciate knowing where they are in the class at any given moment. We know this is extremely important, especially in the complexity of health science education. So here's the standard, right? And we know that each program has different mathematical ways of computing where people stand. You come here, you can make this modification to your courses. This also can travel. This travels with your profile, not just the course. This makes it really easy. You save this to your library. This travels. You make the change here, and then save it, and then it shows up in your library. And then you come here, and then you apply that. Boom, and then it's active for that course. Alternatively, you can create different types of grading schemes by points, by other ways of doing the math to say where a student shows up for your class. We talked about this last Tech Time. Some of our courses are worth 12,000 points, some are worth 4 points. Whatever the case might be, you can come here and customize it so it fits for your instructional needs to keep your students informed. And I could go on for hours about the importance of letting them know in real time where they stand, right? But I think that that point is well made. But an A might not be everything to you in your courses. These are customizable. So you can come here and change these to what they needs to be. I think about those report cards that might be, satisfactory, uh, satisfactory versus non-satisfactory needs improvement. We probably haven't seen that in a while, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm putting that here. But then you say this, and then there's that performance grading scheme. Maybe it's an elective, maybe it's an internship, maybe it's something else, and that you just need to let them know that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing or that they're not, and you can get their attention in real time. So now I have changed it to performance. Let's see what that looks like in real time after clicking save at the bottom. Now go back to the gradebook, and I always keep that feature on at the end that shows them their total. I haven't turned it on for this because it's the sandbox. This I with the line to it means that it's not active, but I would naturally have that on. And notice how it tells them where they are now. It's different. It's not an A, it's excellent, right? And it's out of the grading scheme, 4 points out of 4, because that's what I had represented here. So those of you that use this feature, what do you think about it? How has it worked for you? Is there other schemes that you have used?
I know I have used different scales within things so that a C may have been a broader spectrum of
Mm.
points as opposed to an A. Or I've shifted points up or down along that way. So that's one way that if I don't want the 90 to 100 to be an A, but I want 95 to 100 to be an A, I can make the choice. It changes there.
Yeah, and Jay, I'm going to imagine that some places, some courses, some programs have the A plus, A minus scheme.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I just know in the syllabus, I know I've spent hours modifying every time. Whereas Canvas makes it super easy. You do it once, it lives in your library, and you can do it anytime you need it. You can change it on the fly. And I
Right.
just think that that's a huge time saver. Um, the grading schemes typically don't change, the mathematically speaking, but the course might change, and there might be a different reason to use it. So to me, and there's a lot out there you can Google that people have created these, and you just borrow and bring them over. Alternatively, maybe your department, your program does that. Boom, it's done. And you do it once, it's done.
Right.
Absolutely, that's a good point. That's a good point. Absolutely, Dr. Window. Yeah, Ted. So. Yeah. Anybody else thoughts on the grading scheme feature? I think it's one of those underrated things because, like I said, I often in my career I just relied on the syllabus to convey what the grading scheme was, and then hoped that they would keep those things square. The students, in this case, um, Canvas makes it easy. They make it super easy, and of course, you want those things to still match, but the chances of error go down now that it's automated for you. Okay, so then to wrap up this live demo portion, I just want to show you one more feature. This came up, Jay has shared this with us recently, of the notes feature. Has anyone used the notes feature in the gradebook? Uh, if you go to gradebook settings and click on view options, you can turn on the notes view. This is going to open up a column for the instructor where they get to keep track of comments within the course. This isn't viewable to the students. However, it can have a lot of value as far as communicating, keeping track of details that fall outside of the grading scheme and any feedback you might want to give to them. So here in this case, they had expressed an interest in class. They stayed after class and said, "Hey, I want to know something. You want to remember this? You come in here, and maybe that assignment comes later in the course. You don't want to lose track of that, so you leave a note." Alternative, something we've talked about here in the Teaching and Learning Center is the need oftentimes to communicate across instructors. I know this is a big need at AT Still University, where a lot of folks have responsibility where they co-teach. And this is a great way to collaborate and communicate right where we need to be paying attention, right? I go through the grading. I didn't make it through the grading. I need to tell Jay, I ended up at this point, or I'm noticing something. Please keep an eye on this in the next class. I can come here and do that. Or maybe there's a student that has communicated, or, requested taking an exam early or something. They can come here, this comment's here, and then you could check your notes in real time wherever this column can be moved, but at the same time, it's here and you and only the instructors can see it. There are other more sophisticated ways to do things like this outside of Canvas. And then there's even ways to do it in Canvas, but require a little bit of coding and understanding of embedding things and turning things off and on, these type of things. Canvas does have that available, but usually that's something that academic technologies or ITS will handle for you. But here you could turn it on for yourself and for your colleagues. Questions about the notes feature? Okay. If there aren't any notes, Jay, if you'll be so kind as to turn off the recording, and we'll open it up for questions and comments.